I've been finding all these notes lying around the city while I've been out running. My curiosity has never been one to leave anything alone, so I read a few of them. Some of them are actually rather interesting. Perhaps we'll find some sort of explanation for what the hell we've been dealing with, aside from the Zeds. Bento, I understand that you said sometimes the drugs don't work as well as they should, but when we started doing business, maybe 1 out of 5 pills didn't work right, like they would do nothing. Then later it seemed like 1 out of 3 pills didn't do anything. Then half of them did nothing. I don't really understand what the placebo effect is, but it's not working more and more for my customers. If you could increase the placebo levels in these meds, I would really appreciate it. Anyway, it's great that you can now produce antizin in your own lab. I'm sure the quality control will be much better. Glad doing business with you. We're going to make a lot of money and help people too. Yusuf. That explains so much. Notice to all shopkeepers from Rise. Warning. The brothers Nazim and Osman are known thieves who have stolen from me. Anyone who attempts to trade or barter with them will be considered complicit, and they will meet the same fate that awaits these 2 miserable traders. My men will be coming to your shops to inspect your goods. If any property stolen from me is found in your inventory, you will be held responsible. All of your possessions will be confiscated, and your shop will be burned to the ground. Remember, it is your responsibility to notify us immediately if you have reason to believe either of these men are in your vicinity. Hard to tell if this was before or after this pandemic mess started. Does anyone have phenyl nitrate? I will pay top dollar, no questions asked, except can you get me more? Contact the MAC. If you do not know who I am, ask around. Oh, I know who you are, Aziz. I also know you are shit out of luck now that there's no more phenyl nitrate in the entire city. I need to get to Old Town. I've heard it can be done, but you need to know the right people. I'm not a chump, so don't try to con me. But if you're real and you know what I'm talking about, contact Dawood at the tower. Wait, that's your fucking idea of somewhere safer, dipshit? Sector 0? You're gonna get Sammy fucking killed, you dumbass! Are you tough? Are you strong? Are you having trouble reading this? Well, no. If the answer to all these is yes, it's not, we may have work for you. We need a real muttonhead who will probably get himself killed on the first day. We've gone through a few of them so far. Maybe it's your turn now. Contact Tolga and Fatin. Note to self. Kick their asses the next time I see them. To Mr. Dawood Togan. My name is Esma Kaya. Despite your recent denials, I am very sure you remember me. 3 months ago, I brought in a sterling silver tray which was used as collateral for a small loan from you. Pawned, as you say. The amount you gave for the tray was not satisfactory, despite my pleas that it was worth far more than that. Still, I accepted your money because I needed it. I was told that I could have the tray back as long as I paid you double the amount you had loaned me within 3 months. This was always my intention, as the tray has been in my family for nearly 100 years and was engraved with my family's letters. It was very precious to me. Last week, I came in to recover my tray, but it was gone, and you denied any knowledge of it. Obviously, you have melted it down for its silver, which would have been worth far more than the money you wanted me to pay for it. I don't know what recourse I have. My receipt shows only the money you gave me without any mention of the tray. I don't understand how you could do this to me. I cannot afford a lawyer, so I must let this go. But you have not won. God will deal with you. Oh, don't worry, Esma. Dawood got his just desserts in O-Town. To Dawood Togan from City of Haran Police Department. Mr. Togan, your request for a firearm permit has been declined again. The Haran Police Department recognizes your legitimate concerns as a shop owner to protect yourself and your business. However, our concern is public safety, and the law in this regard is very clear. As we've explained repeatedly, your history of domestic violence and minor public altercations disqualifies you from owning a firearm. Unless these facts can be refuted, this decision cannot be reversed. If you have further questions, you may contact our office. Signed, Captain Enver Halim. This may be why he was so eager to get a hold of a gun, now that the PD doesn't exist anymore. To Police Captain Halim, Haran Police Department. Dear Captain Halim, my name is Carrie Center, and I'm writing because I've become very concerned about a man I've seen in our neighborhood lately. His name is Salim. I do not know his last name, but he lives in a house a few streets away. He is a strange man who often leers at women and young girls passing by. One day, a few weeks ago, he followed me all the way home. I'm certain he was following me. I could feel his gaze at my back. Then, last Thursday, he suddenly stepped in front of me on the path and said, "Would you like to perform for me?" I don't know what he meant, but it was very upsetting. I'm told that he keeps very late hours working in his basement, and that he's known in town for buying many chains and locks, and often asks the clerks off questions about the strength of the chains needed to restrain a human being. I realize none of this amounts to a crime, but that is surely where it will end. Please send someone to talk to him. Gersel, final warning. Excuses don't cut it with Tahir, so they don't cut it with me either. You can't tell me it's just not working. You have to make it work. You're in charge, so it's your job. The fishermen don't want to pay tribute? Are you kidding me? Get your people in line, Gersel. That little village of yours could become a smoldering ruin in a few hours. You say your people don't think they need our protection? Don't they get it? The one thing we can protect them from is us, and believe me, they need protection. Tahir takes a real dim view on this kind of problem. He likes to make examples. Do something, anything, but get your people in line and do it fast. Kareem. Hey Asif, guess what I just bought? A new fishing rod. Okay, it's not new, but it's a C-Beam Flexmaster 2, and it's in great shape. I bought it off Omar Boz for $65. Guess he needed some fast cash. He also pawned his reel, which is a really great reel, but I'm still happy with my Whirlwind 650 Blue Knight, so I'll let that one go for now. As for the rod, I'm putting my name on it. I wish I didn't have to, but if I don't, Omar will be whining on my doorstep, trying to make me sell it back to him for half price. But with my name on it, I may as well have snapped it in half. Anyway, we need to go fishing soon, but I'm a little under the weather now. This weird kid bit me the other day, and I think it made me kinda sick. Should be up and around soon, though. Hope this thing isn't contagious. Rashawn. To whoever now has the task of keeping the juice running in this city, my name is Mustafa, and I've been maintaining this system for the past 2 years. This is my last day. I'm getting out of here before anything melts down, which I'm pretty sure is about to happen. If you're in here, then the power has gone out. God help you. If you're wondering why it went out, just picture a single wall outlet with 20 power strips hanging off it, running 10 fridges and TVs. That's what this city is. Now they want to add the infamy bridge to it? I've upgraded the capacitors, but we've still got large areas of the slums that are packed with grid leeches. It's never gonna hold up. The military should go house to house and remove the leeches from the grid, but that's not gonna happen. Suleiman says the problem will solve itself as fewer and fewer healthy people remain, but he's assuming that all the infected will shut off their lights and TVs just before losing control of themselves. Fat chance of that. And since you're reading this, that pretty much proves me right. From Acting Governor Colonel Kadir Suleiman, Iran Emergency Central Command, to Major Kaleem Abbas, Military Engineering Division. Subject, Infamy Bridge Firewall Reliability. Lieutenant Major Abbas, you seem an able enough man, yet you continue to take up my time with things that I've already dispensed with. Have I been unclear? Despite my previous messages, you remain convinced that I do not understand the implications of the current situation. I assure you I do. as you've repeatedly stated. 1. The infamous bridge firewall requires a great deal of power to remain operational. 2. The electricity being drawn from the slum districts is of poor quality and prone to voltage fluctuations that often fall below the tolerance specs of the equipment. 3. This undervoltage will rapidly degrade the special UV lamps being used, resulting in an unsustainable bulb failure rate. 4. Ultimately, the entire system will fail at an unpredictable time. This will automatically trigger the fail-safe demolition charges, and the bridge will be destroyed to prevent a quarantine breach. Which brings me to the point you keep trying to make. Since we cannot know when the system will fail, we will not have time to withdraw our forces from the city before the demolition of the bridge occurs. It is therefore inevitable that we will be trapped in Haran along with the infected. Many of us will become infected. Many will die needlessly. I understand all of that. Are we clear now? Suleiman. Ryan, it's good news, bad news, my friend. As you know, the supply of phenyl nitrate has been running out. None of my suppliers has seen any for weeks, and they're saying the well has run dry for good. I even had one of my informants at the tower check if they were sitting on any in their medical facility. Apparently, phenyl nitrate can be used as disinfectant. What a waste! But they've been out of it for even longer than I have. So that's the bad news. The good news is that I found a source. I traced a missing case of phenyl nitrate to a ZERP cleaning products salesman who had to ditch a delivery he was making on Chaos Night. You know, when the bridge was blown up? I've sent my courier to go retrieve it. If he doesn't get killed, he'll soon be the only guy in town producing slam, so I suggest you adjust your prices accordingly. Cha-ching! In return, I hope you'll reconsider taking care of my problem. You know what a terrible situation I'm in. I'm still willing to split the recovery with you. Please consider this. Aziz. Ryan, if you're expecting special treatment, you're not going to get it. We need a reliable supply of slam to keep things running smoothly around here. You are one of our suppliers, so you have value to us. If you're not a supplier, then you are not valuable to us. You should know by now that falling out of favor with Rise is just about the worst thing that can ever happen to you. Yes, I know phenyl nitrate is hard to find. Maybe it's even impossible to find, but that's your problem. If you can't cook slam, then come up with something else. If you can't come up with something else, you'd better sprout wings and fly yourself out of here. The last delivery was late, and the one before that was short. This time you're late, and now you're telling me you're going to be short too. So I'm telling you, you're falling out of favor. Kareem. Miss Dahlia, my name is Aruba Ozek, and as you should recall, I commissioned you to make one of those special dolls of yours. It was of my husband Ulkan, and its fabrication required some of his hair, a fingernail, and a drop of his blood. I hope this rings a bell for you, as you did not provide me with a proper receipt or bill of sale. In any event, despite the doll's extremely poor rendering of Ulkan's actual features, its functionality has proven reasonably good. Rapidly jabbing a hat pin into its temple reliably produces an associative shattering pain in Ulkan's head, while another pin thrust into the stomach area produces something he describes as an abdominal rupturing sensation. I am generally satisfied with these results. However, yesterday I attempted to improve the effect by replacing the hat pin with a 16-inch carving knife. Holding the doll in one hand, I thrust the knife into the doll's stomach, but the blade passed through the palm of my own hand. My husband heard my scream over his own noisy wailing, and he crawled into the kitchen to find me standing there with a voodoo doll of him spiked into my hand with a carving knife. Now he blames me for his pain. Thanks a lot. I know owner's manuals are a thing of the past, but you should provide some documentation and warning of your product's poor construction quality. I'm afraid you've lost an otherwise satisfied customer. Aruba Ozek. I have no words. Seriously. Is divorce not a thing anymore? Attention Errol Asani, Governor of Haran. This is a critical GRE communication. We can now confirm that the antiviral drug Antizin has proven an effective inhibitor of the Haran virus. While not a cure, regular administration of Antizin will prevent the onset of the most serious effects associated with the Haran pathogen. The GRE is working with several pharmaceutical manufacturers to ramp up production of antizin to meet the urgent needs of the Haran people. Beginning at 14:30 this afternoon, most GRE support airdrops will now include antizin along with basic supplies. Detailed instructions for proper dosage and use will be included. In light of this important development, we are no longer recommending limb amputation as a means to prevent the onset of Haran virus symptoms. Please coordinate your office with the mayor and other local officials to make this information known to the public as soon as possible. Dear Errol, I know how busy you must be with this terrible crisis going on, but I have no one else to turn to. Hassad was killed yesterday by a sick person, and this morning my daughter Saliha and her son Aaron showed up at my door after her husband was shot dead by a neighbor who thought he was infected. There is little I can do for them, but perhaps you could. You know me, brother. I have never tried to take advantage of your station to profit myself, but this one time I must. Please take Saliha and Aaron away from here. They say there is no way out of the city, but if there's an exception, it will be for you. I am comfortable remaining in Haran, but I can't stand the thought of my lovely daughter and grandson being attacked by those terrible things out there. They are your blood and good people, and worthy of your mercy. Please take them into your care. I know you will, and so you have my deepest gratitude. Your loving sister, Feliz.